Okay, we are live. We're going to be roasting some bad advice on Reddit today. Everything looks good. All right, so we have a new setup, so I'm just going to check a couple things out, but we are good to go, I think. Stream not found. Really? It is found though. Okay. More glitches with restream. All right, that's okay. Refresh. We'll pop out chat. There we go. All right, now we're good. Anyways, let's go ahead and put on some music. We'll probably play some synthwave. I'll post this in Discord, at least a YouTube link, and we will get started. But we have a chat integrated with all platforms. What's up, Jessa? How you doing? Yo, I know a playlist. What's up, data analyst? Oh yeah. If you are sensitive, this stream is not for you. We have chiller streams. This is not one of them. Why I'm streaming that to LinkedIn? Who knows? Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This playlist. This would be good. What's up, Netsoasa? What? Netsoasa. I think I pronounced that correctly. Emmett, what's up? How you doing? Which is better, Twitch or YouTube? Okay. Okay. Let's see. Obviously, YouTube. Obviously, YouTube. I can't, like... Nah, you're just trying to trigger me. You're just trying to trigger me into going off on a rant with Twitch. It's not gonna happen, Emmett. Starting off strong, that's right. Giprian, what's up? Welcome, how you doing? All right, so for anyone just piling in, we are going to be roasting some Reddit advice. I understand that a chunk of Reddit has been shut down. We will find the parts that aren't shut down and we will roast it. That's what we're doing today. Miles, what's up? How you doing? Perturbator has some pretty dank synthwave. Is it royalty free though, Aaron? Not gonna lie, kind of looking forward to this. First time I'm. Oh yeah, really? This is the first time you've watched Reddit roast. All right, nice. Okay, okay. Let's go ahead and refresh. I want to see if it's actually... Oh, it is working. Okay. Got LinkedIn going. Okay, cool. Oh, all right. So, I think CS career questions is down. Oh, shoot. Yo, I'm such a bad streamer. Where's my Discord? Announcements, live notification. I'm staying bad advice on Reddit live. Free to join me on YouTube and LinkedIn or Twitch. Just a YouTube link. And boom. There we go. Let's go. Good morning from Australia. Hello. Doubt we're checking out for off-stream enjoyment. Okay. All right. Well, thank you for the recommendation, man. I appreciate that. Oh, no. Lemony. Gotcha. All right. Let me pull the right chat up. And then, yeah, I think we're good to go. Alyssa, first time catching you going live here. Oh, no. What's up, Alyssa? Just warning you, this isn't a cozy stream. We're going to be roasting some Reddit advice. But yeah, wait, no, you're on our YouTube live streams. You're going to be fine. You'll be okay. But let's jump into it. So, what I like to do, we're going to start with some, like, maybe bad coding bootcamp advice. Oh, shoot. Yeah. We're gonna have some dead posts just because a lot of people aren't even logging on to Reddit, right? There's gotta be some people addicted to it that can't escape it. That's what I'm thinking. That's definitely what I'm thinking. Alright, so Juneau College closing. Restarting his solopreneur program. Is this the right way? Maybe? Jose Portillan Python. Considering an in-person coding bootcamp for networking and interview prep, other options. Okay. Yep. We'll do that. Can anyone suggest me the outsourced tax? Nope, I don't care about that. Best bootcamp in Australia? I have no idea. Help finishing. Yo, Reddit is dead. These are hot posts. What the hell? Tips for newbie that wants to learn? Sure. We're just picking the bottom of the barrel at this point. Nah, it's a boring question. I've started a blog about my code learning journey. Beginner here. Anything interesting? Coding nomads. Okay, nothing really interesting there. Let's go to learn programming. Will be dark. Is it still dark? No submissions? I don't know. Let's see. Oh, 4 days. You know what? We'll pick up some older submissions. Daughter has an interest in coding, new open source Python, how to collect data, how to learn new things with a strong feedback loop. Maybe. What is a good step-by-step approach? Oh, yes. That's going to be good to roast. We're going to get some bad advice in that one. Let's see. All right, let's close some of this. Coding Bootcamp. What else do we have? I'd like to just go through a bunch of tabs right now, open them up, and we'll just go through them one at a time. I'm ready for the roast. Glad to hear it. See a lot of Reddit bootcamp advice from people claiming to have taken a lot of them. It leaves me wondering why they take some... What? Seriously, Mark? Well, yeah, what? I don't... They've taken a lot of them. Yeah, like, do you really want to get advice from people that have hopped in a bunch of different bootcamps that can't really commit? This is why when I do my coding bootcamp reviews, I really try to prioritize, like, for 99% of the people that I bring on, people that graduated, that have the full experience. I think you're going to get the most value from listening to people like that. But I don't know. I would maybe, like, people that are hopping coding bootcamps are critical of the program. Maybe their advice is... okay, who knows? All right, so web dev. Should I stay or should I go? Yeah, why not? Where to find a mentor? Nah. One framework, best place to learn Tailwind. I don't care. What else? Why do companies make you do a stupid online quiz to see if you're a fit? Yeah, why not? You know what? Let's do top. Not today. This month, maybe? This is what I have to do. Apollo. Oh, no, don't get too technical. We're not diving into technical stuff here. Neural anatomy. Serious. So sick of pop-ups. Okay, this is... not interesting. Best IDE. I don't care. Use whatever you want. Let's see. Building. Nope, don't care about that. This is a CAPTCHA. I don't... okay, that subreddit's boring. What else? Web development. Let's go top post. Or maybe we'll start out with hot. What does your job end? Where does your job end when creating a website? No. Okay, the Reddit's dead. Holy shit. Let's go this month. Pipe dream or possible? Oh, this is gonna be good. Yes. Does anyone know where to commission a web? Nope, don't care. Getting into the field, no it's dead. Now what? Maybe. Shifting career. Okay, we'll start out with this. Yeah, we'll start out with this. If you take more than one, it means something is wrong. Yeah, but with the coding bootcamp or you? I think you can have a bad experience at a coding bootcamp one time. But if you quit 2 coding bootcamps, it's probably you. Crace Online, what's up? Welcome. All right, you guys ready to dive into this? Let's do it. Yep, chat is working. Everything's working properly. Cool, I love it. All right, so, oh my God, this is so long. Seriously, all right, considering in-person coding bootcamp for networking and interview prep. Other options? Been self-studying past 3 years. I'm gonna skip through some of this. 500 to 800 hours on the MERN stack through Odin project. Feel comfortable with React. I built 2 full-stack applications using Firebase as a backend. Cool. Callable simple projects, Mongoose Express, unfinished project I built with a teammate that is a restaurant. This is a person that would probably benefit from a bootcamp the most, for sure. For my previous experience, I've unrelated liberal arts. that doesn't get people too far. Okay, socially awkward. Okay, good to be aware of that. Success with job interviews in the past has varied widely. I fear application interview process. Expand on that. It's a big one. I will need to prepare not only for technical interview but behavioral. And you would do this. You could. You can prepare for both, but there are behavioral questions that even just going through the process of having your friend, having your family ask you these behavioral questions. It'll get you more comfortable and it'll get you to articulate your process so you're able to articulate it a little better. Like, practice is very helpful for behavioral questions. These are questions that you shouldn't be tripping up on in the interview. You should practice these and have these down. Technical questions are meant to be tripped up on a little bit more. But even with technical questions, if you don't have a pair programming buddy, if you don't have someone that's technical that understands what you understand, even doing a technical interview, running through a problem, teaching someone else, like your family that doesn't understand, your brother, your sister, teaching them what you're trying to solve can be very helpful. Just articulating it, just thinking about it in a way where you have to teach it, to articulate it, and actually practice it in front of someone, which can also be a little nerve-wracking. Even if it's your brother, even if it's your sister, right? It can be awkward. But just going through the motions to get yourself a little bit comfortable, if that's all you have, can be beneficial. Separately, I have some doubt if I really have what it takes to do this job week in, week out, as my studying has been 1 to 2 month spurts. I have reached mental exhaustion, stepped away many weeks. You've been spending a lot of time, 3 years. You've only built like 4 projects, too big, too small. You're spending too much time in education. That's what this person is getting burnt out with. Way too much time in education. The growth is probably slimmer. They need to build more. That's what I suspect. Okay, so studying, stepped away many weeks. Don't do this. Lower your hours. Don't step away for weeks at a time. Now that there are a few in-person boot camps in the US, I've been toying. Oh, okay, gotcha. So now they're opening up to in-person. I've been toying with the idea of joining one if I found the right program. Yep, but improve the communication skills. I also want to improve. This person is the perfect candidate for a coding bootcamp. I hope, I'm going to be so irritated if any of those 4 comments are swaying him away. No, coding bootcamps are a scam. I hope I don't see garbage advice like that. Just please don't lead this person in the wrong direction. Is an in-person program like Tech Elevator something I should consider at this point? Should I just bite the bullet and start applying to jobs? Even though it doesn't feel like I'm ready, I'm especially not confident in my soft skills. Something else I have researched is paying for coding mentor, interview coach. This is much more affordable than a boot camp, and that's also an option. But I don't know if I would gain as much as if I were working in person and cohort. No, probably not. I would be interested to hear anyone's opinion or experience if they have been in a... I wish this had 100 comments. This is such a good scenario to go through. I think books are underrated. I worked through Exercises for Programmers, 57 challenges to develop your coding skills at least 4 times. Oh, did you? Yeah, a lot of people don't read books anymore. In terms of the medium, just go with what you prefer. I don't think you have to, and you might prefer books. You know, a lot of us get away from books as we dive deeper into technology. You might actually, the way it's taught in a certain book can just ring a bell with you, right? Like things just click, and you should highly consider that. Try it out. But he did tech elevator, paid like 16K Java stack. He still hasn't found a job. Gotcha. When did he sign up, by the way? Yeah, don't go into any coding bootcamp expecting to get a job 6 months after you graduate. The market's just shit right now. Don't do it. You prefer books as the first step. I like to drown a bit to understand a little, then supplement. Oh, okay. Oh, you don't prefer books as a first step. I like to drown a bit to understand a little. Gotcha, Chi. I think I'm more similar to you with that. I can see that for sure. All right, so. Yo, chat is working really nice. Let's go. Okay, so my initial impression is that you would not benefit much technically from a coding bootcamp. That's... yeah, I would need to see what he's built, how he structured his code, his syntax. I think the big benefit is really soft skills. It's really working with other developers. It's building his confidence, which you can do through like a paid mentorship. But yeah, you might be right about that. I suggest applying to a bunch of entry-level roles, worst case scenario. Yeah, if he did he mention he hasn't applied yet? That's probably a huge mistake. This person probably hasn't applied yet. I fear the application interview process. I'm pretty sure this person. Okay, that's a huge mistake. You should apply. Like 3 years in, this is like a huge imposter syndrome situation. 3 years in, you haven't even applied yet. You can't make a educated decision that you should go to a coding camp. Like this person's spot on. Just apply. Apply to entry-level positions. Apply to positions that say up to like 3 years of even professional experience required. I would prioritize the applications that are like, 1 year or under. But yeah, this person needs to apply and just experience. Like, this is a huge confidence issue. And that might be why this person's getting burned out too. I wonder what the goalpost for this person is. Like, how much do they need to learn? What is that goalpost before they apply? Because they're giving like very generic goalpost of I need to prepare for the technical interview, but also I need to prepare for the behavioral interview. But like, how? When are you prepared? Is it like a certain number of questions you prepare, like a half a dozen times you practice these questions? Like, I bet this person doesn't even have tangible goals that are going to identify exactly when they're supposed to apply. You already have 4 years of experience working at a tech company, and so you already have soft skills. To get some practice first, try Pram for real mock interviews. I did a few after graduating. When it comes to your portfolio, the emphasis is not on what you have built or how many projects you have built. What's important is your ability to intelligently talk about them, whether it's about the technical details of them or how and why you made a specific implementation. Have something that came from a boot camp. I got a job recently. Review your resume and portfolio. They should have relatively decent idea of how you stack. Wait, what? Have someone that came from a boot camp. Oh, that got a job recently. Okay, review your stuff. No. No, like new developers shouldn't be reviewing your shit, but don't do it. Talk to like a senior developer that's actually helped aspiring developers with career stuff. Like, there are senior developers that have no idea what they're talking about in terms of presentation. A lot of times when you get into the industry, it's just connections, right? And you don't even have to be good at the interview process. You got to be okay, and different companies are going to have different expectations, but yeah, I don't agree with that advice. Oh, gotcha, Chico. He was the summer of last year, finished like in the fall or winter. Gotcha. Okay, so it's been a bit. Yeah, 9 months, 6 to 9 months. Yeah, that's it's getting more typical. It won't be like this forever. And I wish coding bootcamps would stop spitting out so many students and focus more on their growth that still holds on to the quality of the program instead of trying to scale a bunch. I wish that would happen, but They should also be applying to developer adjacent jobs. Experience working with developers on apps and sites means a lot, but it depends on the developer adjacent job. If you, I don't think it means that much if you're not coding, right? So developer adjacent job, like a QA position where you aren't building any tests, any automation, I would argue that's not worth your time unless you need the money, right? Then go ahead, apply for it. But a lot of people feel like working on a tech team is like the stepping stone into a software engineer position, and I have not in practice seen that be the case for like 99% of cases. So, but if you're going for like a software engineer in test, or you're going for like an email developer, or even you get locked into a WordPress position for a year, that's still somewhat beneficial as long as you supplement those skills outside of that. Then that can be a stepping stone job. Public speaking classes at a community college are a pretty good way, especially if you don't care about the grade. True. Yeah, that's a good idea. 2/3 away out of a back-end boot camp, and there's very little resource on YouTube for people aiming straight up to be a back-end dev. Yeah. Well, there's this huge misconception that entry-level developers can't become back-end developers. That's a huge misconception. The problem is programs just don't prepare people well enough for back-end. That's the reality. So there's less competition, but people are less prepared for those types of positions. But yeah, that's exactly the situation with aspiring back-end devs. I looked up on Reddit too. You know what I need to do? I just need to bring on like 3 back-end developers. Like, how the hell what would you consider being on a level where you would want to work with a entry-level position, like junior developer? I think that'd be cool, right? Alasic, welcome. Thank you for the follow. I looked up on Reddit, but there are hardly any good advice out there. Yep. I just realized you have a combined... Yeah, exactly, Chico. That's why I put it up so people can see, you know? If you code at your job, even if the title is not developer, it definitely helps. Yes, yeah. No, so you can... Here's a big win. Like, here's a secret. I'm calling it a secret because, like, almost no one does this. Push in your department to and you might have to work some extra hours. That's okay. And quite frankly, you can push for extra pay if you want, but you don't deserve it. But you're not doing it for extra pay. But within your company, if you have a non-coding position and you want to take the reins and say, I know we could use this internal tool, or our scheduling really sucks, I'm going to build a script for this. At least something that spits out a bunch of emails when an announcement happens, right? Like something small, and you're like, I'm going to build it, I'm going to maintain it, I'm going to own this. Can I do this, right? Talk to your manager about it, talk to the tech team about it, see if you can take it upon yourself to do that. And if you could do that, that's professional experience. You're not a developer. You shouldn't put yourself as a developer if you're just building some random internal tool, but you can put that internal tool in your description of what you've done with your job. That is legitimate development experience. That's a secret hack that people have done. It works, but you have to take that initiative. Just most people aren't willing to take that initiative. But yeah, that's really good advice. Yeah, Craze. I got our Curaze online, not Craze. Curaze online. Sounds like I'm about to call you crazy. So let's invite 3 back-end devs. Yeah, let's do that. I'll have that as a podcast episode. I think that's a great idea. I want to talk with more back-end devs about that. That'd be great. Yeah, back-end dev interview, basically what you expect a junior associate to know or convey in their projects and knowledge. Yeah, definitely a smaller org thing. I'm not a dev. It's easier in a smaller company for sure. Analyst sysadmin, and I will weigh my 2 cents. I'm not a dev. That would most likely get shot down at most places, unfortunately. Yeah, analyst sysadmin is very, very different than actual dev work. But if you enjoy that kind of work, and it could lead into a little bit more like back-end heavy DevOps work. Yeah, I appreciate that, Curious. All right. What else? I don't think a boot camp would be the best choice. That said, I could see merit in doing one if you go in with the mindset of helping others through the program. Assisting other students could give you some good experience. Yep. Talking through the concepts, it would also reinforce what you've learned. And you might even talk to admissions on your ability to do that as well. That goes for everyone. Or just like look at reviews. Like, are there a bunch of group projects? Is there pair programming? Do you have opportunities to teach others? All that said, it would probably be more time cost efficient to seek out individuals that can specifically help you with the skills you are trying to refine. There are services out there you could offer to pay. Yeah, first of all, this person just needs to apply. Okay, this post was good. We could talk about some like really useful tips, but there was nothing to roast here. I am very disappointed. Next. Stop being so reasonable, Reddit. I think like this whole Reddit thing, like all the toxic people just like, I don't know, maybe like some of the big Reddits that had an excessive amount of toxic people finally got the opportunity to shut down their Reddits and get a break from the toxic people. And now the toxic people don't use Reddit anymore until they come back up. That's my suspicion. And I hope that's not true because I want to roast some advice. All right, tips for a newbie that wants to learn. It's basically what the title says. I'm interested in learning to code. I'm going to start with C, and I want tips and tricks as I... I don't know, C. Start with the basics. No, I don't know, C. All right, how to learn new things without a strong feedback loop. Okay. Generally been a quick learner. Wow, I read that as something different. In high school, college... grasping concepts related to multiple disciplines in very short periods of time. I'm not sure if this was motivated by the fact that I knew I would be tested in these subjects. Okay, you enjoyed learning. Haven't been learning at the same pace. Make plans. I ended up stuck in some vicious cycle or the other. Tutorial hell, spending too much time going into the minute details. I'm more of a perfectionist, so I get anxious leaving out small details. I mean, this is like... It's like when you ask, how do I stop being a perfectionist? You just do it. You just do it, and you bite the bullet and suck up the emotions. When I say suck up the emotions, you're going to feel the emotion, and you do it anyways, which is why I recommend, if you're going to step out of your comfort zone, practice stepping, like baby steps. But you have to train your mind to have the grit, the ability to step outside your comfort zone and do something that you know you need to do, right? And so you can start with other areas of your life where it's a little bit easier, but eventually you're just going to have to do it. There's no secret plan, no secret sauce to be able to execute on this other than just doing it, right? Baby steps, but you just got to do it. So this person knows what they're doing wrong. And if you are this person that identifies with, yeah, I just can't do it. I'm just looking for the right advice, the right strategy, the right plan. There is no right plan. And you're going to have to figure that out on your own. And what you're figuring out is how to be comfortable being uncomfortable, executing on actions that you know are going to help you. You just feel uncomfortable about it. So if you are this person, just do it. After some self-reflection, I figured out that the thing that kept me going through my academic life was a quick feedback loop. Yep, get that from traditional education, and used to enjoy solving problems, learn from mistakes, perform better on exams. However, such kind of feedback loop seems to be missing. When I try to learn something, you're in tutorial hell. Like, you're assessing things that are going to be fixed by getting out of tutorial hell and actually building something. Right? Yeah, exactly. Hold on, conspiracy here. Ever since Reddit users brought down GameSpot, hedge fund, it's gone downhill. Oh, really? Maybe censorship algorithms are in play? I don't know. I always appreciate good theories. Appreciate that, Zima. Man just needs to jump in the deep end of a project. Yep. Also, Dom. Who is Dom? What? I think an amazing experience hack is to apply to real small dev shops. People look down on those jobs, but it is... I think people are like open to any jobs, Tazia. But yeah, you're right. People should apply and be open-minded towards the jobs that they're getting, especially their first job. But I feel like the economy has forced people to be a little bit more open-minded. I hope so, anyways. Not interviewing, applying, big problem. These people holding out on that. Literally half the challenge. Need to get used to the pressure of being put on the spot, not just focus. Yep. You're good, Tezzy. Yeah, I agree with you, data analyst. The heck is a dev job even like? Can't imagine it. Yep, you'll never even get a taste of it until you start interviewing and seeing what the responsibilities are for their expectations. Okay, let's see. So basically, never-ending technical concept, system design. Hey, what are you trying to learn? Why are you trying to learn system design as like trying to get into your first position? Like, why? This like, I want everyone that's going through issues. I would want, you know what? Maybe I'll do this for my paid mentorship. Like, I'll require them to list out all of their resources they have used to learn and what they've learned, like what their trajectory is, because I think that would tell me a lot about how linear their path actually is, or how completely screwed up their path is, if they're just getting lost and where they're getting lost. Because if you are trying to expand your knowledge and the breadth of knowledge, and you're learning like AI, ML, and then system design, I just feel like you are all over the place. You aren't learning anything specific. You don't have targeted learning towards solving the types of problems that you want to solve, that you're probably going to solve at an entry level, right? System design probably isn't something you're going to be solving at an entry level. If anyone has any guidance to help me out, damn, see, these are good questions. And only 3 comments. That's so disappointing. Toy projects. Learning AI, train an AI on sheet music and make music. Will the music be good? No, as long as it outputs non-degenerative sheet music. Success-ish. Success-ish is a feedback you need to learn to... That's cool. Success-ish is a feedback you need to learn to thrive on as a programmer. View every tiny thing you do, even if... even if it's just a function stub, as success-ish, and feel good about it. Yeah. I don't know if it's a matter of like this person tried a personal project and just got scared from it, or they weren't able to analyze their growth, but like, you can compare previous projects, but project work is so good and crucial for your confidence in comparing old projects, right? Daniel, what's up? Welcome. It's so crucial. It's like, if you're not working on personal projects, no shit, you're not gonna have a compass, or you're not gonna be able to identify milestones of growth, right? It mainly comes from project work. You have to get your hands dirty. Okay, more good advice. I would say you have to create your own feedback loop. You need to figure out something, and you could also like just talk with other developers, see what they're doing. You know, even just being able to help another developer on a group project that might not have been where you are could be very helpful and a big boost of confidence for you, right? Like, you know, you were in that person's shoes at some point. Now you're not. Now you're helping this person out. Or another person has like a better convention, and their implementation just like, it's readable. Holy crap, like yours wasn't readable when you try to code out that feature before. I want to learn from this, right? Then you can learn that and feel good. Like, you can start identifying. I don't think you should try to like aim for good conventions too early on in your journey, but you can start identifying, I guess, certain ways to implement things that are a little bit better than yours. You have to recognize, I've identified this as a better convention than mine, and now I've learned this better convention. So I am better. I am moving forward, right? Being able to identify your milestones and your progress through that alone can help. But again, man, project work. Let's see. Instead of going through tutorials, I would devote a considerable amount of time to figuring out what the project or task might entail. Research what the best ways to put a specific concept. I would argue this person just needs to jump into the code. No offense, but that was a lot of backstory without a lot of concrete examples. If you mean it's hard to read 600-page technical book that you have no plans to applying to a real project, then yeah, it's completely normal for that to be a struggle. You need some mechanism to practice and apply. Yo, why did Reddit become reasonable? What the hell? This is ruining my live streams. That's one thing I notice about developers: can't bullshit a bullshitter. It sounds like he's too scared to start a personal project because he doesn't want to make a mistake and waste time. He just wants to know it at first. Yeah. Yeah, this man's got it. Yeah. A lot of people have confidence issues. Like, here's the problem, and this is why I'm actually glad I did terrible in high school and college. I didn't latch on to the value that I can provide or how fast I could learn or how smart I was based on me getting an A, B, C, D, and an F. And I've gotten Fs before. I didn't latch on my worth, my intelligence based on that. It wasn't practical. I've forgotten almost everything that I've learned in college. Anything that I haven't used, I just forgot, right? You have to break out of this traditional mold of learning something, memorizing something, and then being tested over it, right? You've been tested on memory for who knows how long. And in Europe, it's probably going to be a little bit longer than the US, I think. I don't know. Just forget that last statement. I don't know what I'm talking about. But like, you have to break out of that mold. It trips people up so much. And then you get out of it, and like, especially when you see like college students graduating, going into the real world, you'll see this. It's a very, very common thing. If they do get a job, they're super awkward about it. They're super awkward about applying their knowledge. And unfortunately, some college students, graduates aren't humble enough to realize like the practical use case and the growth that's going to come from that is that's going to be a very long path. So hopefully when you graduate college, you have that humility to realize that. But yeah, it's just like, it's branching from traditional education to something that's more practical, useful, where you can apply this knowledge. A lot of people, and the thing is, you have to make that transition when becoming a software engineer sooner than other professions sometimes. And it's weird. But like, I think people in this thread have the right idea. You need to apply it, but so many people are locked into this paradigm of learning through traditional education, and it continues to trip aspiring developers up over and over and over. We count on Reddit being cringy. I know we do. We're just, I don't know. All right, let's keep going. I've seen some posts with like 100 comments. We're gonna get to some cringy stuff. Just be patient. And just we'll talk about some useful tips until then. Okay. So I don't know. Do I want to read all this? We're already 37 minutes in. Let's skim this because I think this person's going to be reasonable. Routine trumps motivation. Damn. What the fuck? God. Okay. Spend some time planning on what you want to learn and when you're going to do it. If you know you have free time. Yeah, okay, that's useful. Only use tutorials as a general overview of how to conceptually do a project, just some mental structure of how you should do something, what technologies and flows are involved, and coming up with any solution at all. Then take some time of thinking of completely different project you could do with the same technology and just do it. Embrace the struggle, look up issues as you run into them. We literally never get good advice like this on Reddit. Do I want to read this? I feel like I'm just going to be depressed reading this. I'm in a mindset to roast advice. I feel like it's just going to like bring me down. Do we read this? To counter perfection, we'll read the first few sentences. To counter perfectionism, first accept that code you write the first time is going to suck, and you will actually get better at planning by writing sucky code and seeing the pitfalls of writing sucky code. Embrace making an MVP. Okay, fuck this. I'm not even having fun at this point. Hold on, we're moving on. If you want to go to that thread, just rewind, look at the link. But man, that's some good advice. Okay. All right, we ready to get into some of the cringy stuff? Does that translate into your projects as well for juniors? I think a lot of people want to be unique, reinvent the wheel. Wouldn't you agree? It is the execution and presentation that matters. Does what translate exactly? Yeah. Oh, I can't do it now. Does that translate into project? Can you elaborate? Does what translate? Is it Reddit trying to do IPO so they're cleaning up posts? Yeah, but the posts they're garbage advice, but it's still like not it's like TOS friendly. So I don't think they would just delete some of that. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe the toxic people are just getting banned for other posts they make. Okay, so what is a good step-by-step approach when learning to code? 112 comments. You know what we're doing? No, we're not doing best. We're doing controversial. Let's go. I don't care about Python. No. Hold on. Please use AI to generate, or did you use AI to generate this list? Where did you get it? Because a lot of the stuff here just doesn't make sense. Damn. Web scraping on, oh wait. Okay, we'll dig into it. Basics, day 5 web scraping. I think, oh, what's the term? Just interpreting a string and picking things out of it. Like, what is the term? I'm literally drawing a blank, but I think parsing a string for certain things, I think can be very interesting. And I think even parsing a string and building out like code blocks or something like that based on being able to detect the starting and ending tags and building out code through parsing a string, that can be useful, maybe. I think diving into HTTP request initially, is that like a Python convention? Like in JavaScript, I don't think you should be diving into anything like that anytime soon. You're not going to be messing with asynchronous behavior. I don't know. I guess I don't really know the Python path, but I think, yeah, parsing a string can be very helpful. And then you can expand on that and parse it in a more efficient way. But yeah, maybe, I don't know. Data cleaning, intermediate Python and web scraping. Is this like a big thing for Python? Parsing, yeah, you got it. I meant that reference to new grads wanting to apply knowledge. Like they want a title or value or do something new when in actuality, execution of a project is more valuable. So does that translate into your projects as well for juniors? I think a lot of people want... Gotcha. So does... What translated? Does your knowledge from a traditional education translate over memorization? Typically, no. So you can learn it, but it's going to be at the tip of your mind. You're not really going to understand it. And so if you spend a lot of time memorizing, if you spend a lot of time, even just like with little challenges that you will never do again, that will never reinforce the concepts that you just learned, you're going to lose it. You're going to forget it. It'll be easier to pick it up again, but you need to get your hands dirty and stop trying to create something unique. That is a big mistake that many aspiring developers are doing, especially with like UX principles, right? Just use foundational UX principles that work across your favorite apps that you use. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Stop trying to place your navigation on the side and trying to be creative and create this like vertical navigation. You have no idea how easily people will get frustrated with your app and just leave. They want something that just works. Use common conventions that they're used to. If you are going to build a convention that people aren't used to, just expect them to leave the app. You're not at a level, especially UX and design wise, where you truly understand the user well enough to be able to pull something like that off and not create frustration. Expect the user to not give a fuck about your website, not give a fuck about your app, and just move on. So many people navigate so many websites. Stop trying to reinvent the wheel. Focus on the UX and design patterns that just work, and then just build your app and expand the features from there. Get a user base, get people using your app, and let them give you feedback. That's a natural way to build your applications. But like even before you do that, just build something that doesn't matter. Build something that you don't even think will get a user base, but you have to get your hands dirty. You have to. It's a data science path. Okay. I know, creative minds. I know. Yeah, so hopefully that answered your question. Okay, we're skipping that. What else? Literally no one can give you this. Edit, I take it back. Steps 1 through infinity make something. What the hell did I just read? I started learning the basic syntax of my chosen language, Python, and for that I use a site called SoloLearn. After that I started learning algorithms on site. Udacity. Why? What have you built? 2 years ago, I started with CS50 and it was too difficult, so I gave up. I was stuck at pointers. I would argue, like, I don't think CS50 gives you a solid foundation when you're just starting out. I don't think CS50 is a great course just starting out. Is that controversial? I feel like it isn't. I feel like it can give you a good foundation of theory and what you're missing when you don't go through a computer science program. But I don't think you should take that right away. I think that's something as a supplement. Anyone that's taken CS50, can you let me know what you think about that statement? On school, worth every cent. Well, tell why. It's so cringy when people just advertise like that. Tugtails, what's up? Welcome. Learn code syntax, learn how to read the docs of libraries, start and finish a project. Well, you could start and finish a project. Kind of like a code along project before, but yeah, docs are good. And when you go through courses, and do your best not to reference the course material when you're building your little side project or side feature, look up documentation. I think that's pretty healthy. So I'm glad this person put that sooner. Keep working on it or else you will forget. Move the goalposts and learn more. Jumo, back to 2 and repeat until you switch language. Oh, no. Why are you switching languages? No. Horrible advice. All right. I learned to code by finding a need and fulfilling that need. For instance, one of my previous jobs had a lot of manual steps. Okay, so I learned how to code in VBA. First to automate a lot of steps. Nice. That's pretty good. Any controversial stuff? I don't want to read your entire story. At this point, I don't know what I'm doing. Okay. There's like... These are like controversial posts, right? How does Reddit determine that something is controversial? You like the avocado? Nice. Base statement, left it 4th class, and yeah, it was good to fill the gaps. CS50. Gotcha. Okay. I think that's a reasonable statement. Maybe not a lot of people here have taken CS50, but I feel like it's a decent supplement. I just don't. It's like You Don't Know JS. I think it's a good book. The first 6 chapters, I think it's a really good assessment of whether you're ready to jump into React. I don't think it's a great book to start with, though. I think it's a good. Those first 6 chapters are good for assessment, but it's not beginner friendly. It's hard to know like what book is like. You hear the recommendation, yeah, learn You Don't Know JS. Well, when? In what circumstance, right? And they'll just take that general feedback, then they'll dive into something like You Don't Know JS because it's been recommended as a great series, and then like they get overwhelmed with it and they just ditch it, right? I think there are more beginner-friendly series that you should consider. But yeah, sometimes people just take this generic advice and they invest so much time into it. It's okay. Sometimes you need to hop out of the book. You need to hop out of the video and try something else. If what you're doing, the medium that you are consuming, that content isn't clicking, if it's not making sense. Oh, this is good for me. I'm learning Java in college at the moment. Okay. The post with the most even proportion of upvotes and downvotes are rated most controversial on Reddit. Okay, so we don't see the downvotes, but it's probably interpreting it as that. Interesting. Okay, I can see that. I'm not sure what I can build with Java. I just don't see any small. Okay. Everyone talks. Let's see. What is this post? Be careful not to get overwhelmed by all the resources available online. Focus on one plan instead. Try to finish a course that's free and well structured. Free code camp. And actually, like, I don't like the recommendation just to blindly focus on free. I like the idea of focusing on one plan, but no. This priority of like focus on free, no, I don't agree with it. And often free does not mean well structured. And then you just get like blind recommendations. Free Code Camp's UX is terrible. It's horrible. I don't think it's very beginner friendly. For very far, I think it gives you some exposure, but I think the UX is terrible. 100 Days of Swift, I've never heard of that. I personally find myself learn better this way if I'm learning myself. Try building your own project. Yep. If you still have a problem with self-learning, you should consider studying at a school. Yeah, fair. Everyone talks about making their own project, but I don't get it. What kind of projects can I build? Can you please give me some examples? Well, if you're asking, we just released a podcast episode about what front-end project will make you stand out. I released an entire... If you're like... Hold on, I'm just going to keep tossing this. It's free. I ain't charging for this. It's a blog post I wrote. I do apologize for the UX. It's not great UX on my website. I need to probably just get rid of the dark background, to be honest. But if I don't know if it'll post it, will it? Okay. I don't know if that's going to post it in different places, but just go to donthedeveloper.tv and go to blog, and this blog post, huge blog post about what you should build, what types of projects, a different value of different types of projects. And I order these from lowest value to highest value. Just read through it. It'll give you a good idea of what to build, if that's what you're asking. I just did a podcast episode on it. But I think having cookie cutter templated projects makes sense when you're trying to reinforce concepts and you're not really diving deep into becoming a problem solver just yet. You're just trying to connect the pieces of these technical concepts and apply them in a applicable, practical manner. So yeah, you could do to-do lists, and to me, to-do lists is super boring. You can come up with something else, or you could use ChatGPT and just say, hey, I ain't building this boring ass to-do list. I'm not doing it. I don't want to do it. It's boring. There's nothing interesting about it. Give me something spicy, right? Give me a little spice in my project. I just learned these concepts. What can I build? Give me 3 ideas for projects I can build that'll reinforce these concepts and make it extra spicy. Do that and come up with a good project. You don't have to go through these templated projects if you don't want to. Something that makes your life easier. Okay, so ideas for projects to build. Okay, we can scroll down. Yeah, see if it helps. And let me know what you thought of it. I'm genuinely interested in the feedback of that article. Let me know what you thought of it. It's a very long article, and I understand that sublinks are needed for the headers. I do understand that. But if you can get through the article, feel free to let me know what you thought of it. I like your take on Free Code Camp. I felt the same. I think it's good supplement to knowledge you don't already have. If you want something specific, look at the path. Hot mess. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good supplement. Actually, let me read that again. I think it's a good to supplement a knowledge you don't already have if you want something specific looking at. Yeah, the path is, I don't know. I have to look more deeply through the path. The problem I find is that people coming out of Free Code Camp, I don't really know. Like, a huge problem I have is like, yeah, just do Free Code Camp and you can get a dev job. Like, that's bullshit for 99.99999% of people, right? It's not an end-all be-all solution. And I highly encourage you can get a little bit exposure and then supplement after that. And I think that can be a good combination with Free Code Camp. But I just don't like people selling a lot of these free programs, and people have done this with the Odin Project, and it's like a cult. Like, it's literally like a cult. It feels like a cult when you listen to people talk about it on Reddit and just blindly recommend it of like, yeah, Odin Project, yeah, tons of people are getting jobs. No, that's not the case. You're always going to get success stories. That's not majority of people, right? Majority of people from a coding bootcamp don't even get a job within 6 months for many coding bootcamps. And you're going to tell me like a free program that I've looked through these free programs. No, you're going to have to supplement, and that's okay. That's completely okay. Shared it on Twitter. Article will definitely be worth the read. Oh, I appreciate that. Yeah, thank anyone that shares my stuff. Seriously, that's how I grow. I really appreciate that. Thank you, Dev Puddles. Okay, so, but yeah, glad you liked it. So we do have some people on LinkedIn. That's cool. It's very cool to see. I'll have to test this stuff out. But yeah. All right, let's keep going. Do not rush the material. We're so far into this. Are we gonna encounter anything useful reading? I'm trying to explore, make some changes. Keep stepping. Okay. I learn concepts and try to solve problems. There are too many ways to learn. You do not provide enough details, so I can't be specific. I just want to provide an alternative approach. Find one problem, project, tool, idea you really like. Involve. Talk to the people of this community. Start small and learn as you go. Asking. Okay, sure. Most real programs and code is nothing as it is on those tutorials. You don't need to learn everything at once. Yep. Just find interest on some domain and make yourself useful. yeah, spelling's off. English probably isn't main language, but I think I'm interpreting this correctly, and it sounds okay. But it's very hard to interpret that exactly how that person probably meant it. Okay, yeah, we're done with this. Pretty good advice overall. Okay, we're moving on. What other posts? Should I stay or should I go? Ooh, all right. I jumped ship from my last position because the company was in financial hot water and couldn't keep me up with payroll. This is gonna be good. Like a working for free post, right? Trying to find you on Reddit? I'm not really on Reddit. I have a Reddit account, Don the Developer. I have a subreddit. I don't think you can post there because I'll eventually do something with that subreddit, and it might be like reactions to different advice. But to be honest, I don't really want to deal with copyright issues with like reacting to video and stuff like that. So I'll do it with Reddit posts and blog posts and articles, and I can go over news and stuff with that, like that with you guys. But I kind of want to like branch out into like psychology and different topics outside of coding and react to stuff like that. So I might use my subreddit for that like down the road, but for now, nah. What live platform are you on? YouTube's my main one, but we have a Discord. You can join the Discord. You go to my profile on LinkedIn, you'll find a sticky post with the Discord link, I think. I'm in a bit of a pickle with my current hold on, we need some water. We collectively need some water. All right, I'm in a bit of a pickle with my current job situation. I jumped ship from my last position because the company was in financial hot water and couldn't keep up with the payroll. Seeing the writing on the wall, I started casting my line out for new opportunities. I was lucky enough to reel in 4 offers. Okay. But 3 of them were in the big city with a family to think about. Packing up and moving seemed like a financial hit we just couldn't take, so I went with the company nearest to us. But here's where the snag comes in. Feels like I'm just not getting the respect I deserve at my new place. Even with the years of experience under my belt, they're treating me like a greenhorn and won't even let me near the back end stuff. So much for being a full stack developer. The engineering practices are basically non-existent. Code stashed away in a on-prem server. I don't know what that is. No version control in sight. You'd think with 60, well, that's probably why they're not letting you touch it, honestly. You'd think with a 16-person IT team, there'd be more developers, but no, just 2 of us. One day, I even got a dressing down for grabbing a bite during working hours. Meetings pile up day after day, 3 to 4 times a pop, but it's all talk and no action. To top it off, the racism is palpable. A saboteur fact of life in Southeast Asia as reliable as a daily sunrise and sunset. Is this guy white or something? Getting some racism? Experiencing some racism, or I don't know what that situation is. My wife thinks I should be on the lookout for greener pastures, but I'm torn. Should I stick it out or start scanning the horizon for better opportunities? Yeah, that's a shitty situation. Yeah, like the people that say like only white people can be racist, it's like the most garbage, uneducated opinion you can have. It's like there are many forms of racism, and I know exactly what this person is talking about, if my assumption is correct. But I've known some people in different parts of Asia that have shared similar stories. So no version control would have me running for the hills. Yeah, this sounds rough. Like my initial impressions with this is, yeah, start looking for a new job. Like this sounds pretty miserable. I would argue, I'm wondering if there's some arrogance here, or because like, did you not ask this question of what you were going to be working on? Because I wonder if you just didn't do a good job at scoping this out, right? And you never mentioned this. You never mentioned the interview process. You never mentioned like, these are the responsibilities that were promised to me, and now they're not letting me touch the back end stuff. But you're not mentioning that, which tells me, or kind of makes me assume that you just did a horrible job at scoping. Is that you guys? 7 people here? What's up? How you doing? Maybe you're just doing, I don't know. I feel like you didn't really scope that out well enough. But yeah, like micromanaging, was it like during high pressure, like end of project weeks, or like I could use a little bit more context here, but I don't know. I think this person definitely feels like they're not really much of value there, and that's, you know, that's an issue in itself. Like, if you can't even talk to your manager about that, like, have you tried talking to your manager? This is like, this extra context is very helpful. So the problem I have with professional developers that I talk to is they have a lot of complaints, but they like have very little detail about the actions they have taken to rectify this, the actions they have taken to talk to management, the actions they have taken to try to be humble or to try to take initiative when, you know, they just don't trust you with some of their crucial stuff yet. There's so much context missing here. It's very hard for anyone really to give you advice on should you stick it out or leave. And even with that said, this is more information than many developers will even give you. So kudos to you for making it 3 paragraphs. But it's very hard to give advice on this situation without digging in. Yeah, psychology would be fun. I think dating is fun. Psychology is fun. I don't really get political, but sometimes we'll dive into social issues. Definitely roast a lot of victimhood in tech. We'll go into some controversial issues with that, but yeah, I think those kind of like off topics are fun. Oh, on premises. All right, thank you, Mahan. Reddit, to be honest, really is the worst place on the internet with a bunch of useless people and not useless people, just useless advice. I think like it brings out the toxicity in you. I feel like Twitter is good for that too. Twitter and Reddit bring out the toxicity in you. So it's like, you know, there are probably a lot of decent people that you wouldn't think they're so decent. Am I just wrong? Is this just like the, I don't know, the garbage, but like these are reasonable responses, you know what I mean? So when we see responses like this, I'm like, there's some reasonable people on this platform. In the same field, but the conditions you are so different. So I might not understand your circumstances, but because of work, this field is predestined for remote work, but this might be a cultural thing. I can only tell you, what the fuck did I just read? Are we talking about remote work? Why? That's not even what this person is at. Like, that's not even what they hinted towards. I mean, racism is bad enough, but no version control run. I like this. Yeah, that's rough. Reddit isn't the worst Twitter. I would agree that Twitter is. I would agree that the toxicity on Twitter is worse than Reddit. Like, is that a thing? Hold on. For my YouTube peeps, we're gonna do a quick poll. Just, do I want to do a poll? Yeah, I do. Start a poll. What's more toxic, Reddit or Twitter? And for anyone else on other platforms, I'll let you know the results. There you go. Polls up on YouTube. The thought? You thought the same, read my mind. What's up, Anthony? How you doing? Welcome back, man. But where is the advice for junior developers on this post? Well, I think, I mean, you could be a junior developer and still be working, right? But yeah, I think it's just talking about like, I think it's an interesting topic because sometimes people get stuck into situations that, yeah, it's just not ideal. And should you stay or should you go is a big question. Damn, Twitter, okay. We only have 14 votes, but it looks like Twitter. Whew, okay. Unless you make real changes there, get out, sure. Yeah, you can kind of get trapped into not really growing as a developer. It depends how long it's going to take. But there's some reason they're not trusting you, and I think identifying what that reason is, even if it just means you just haven't been there long, matters. Like, how long have you been there? I don't think this person said, right? What else? Stick it out at the job. You need to get paid, but cast your line out again. Yeah, that's probably the best advice. It wasn't the right fit. Yeah. I mean, okay. Hiring managers question you leaving less than 1 year of employment. Yeah, usually. But if you've only been there for a few weeks, 2 months, they're not going to question it. Yeah, you don't even have to put it on your resume. You could even just say, like, if they ask, okay, so what your last position was. I mean, like, I don't think it's, like, if you were there for 2 weeks, I wouldn't even put it on your resume. If it comes up, talk about it. Like, it just wasn't a good fit, right? I wasn't given the responsibility that I could, you know, really conquer. I didn't do a really good job of like, you could say this, I didn't do a good job of assessing what I was going to be doing there, right? So this is a, you know, learning thing for me. I did a poor job of assessing it, and, you know, this is why I'm asking you this question. So what am I going to be doing here? It's a really good transition into what are my responsibilities. You can almost always spin a story like that in your favor, and especially if it's a learning moment. You know how many people, like, just will apply to jobs that'll go to interviews? Okay, by the way, 82% of people said that Twitter is more toxic, and 18% said it's Reddit. So good to know. Thank you. But do you know how many people will go into an interview like not really giving a shit about the company? They won't care about their responsibilities. They just want a dev job that pays well, right? Do you know how many people get weeded out from those interviews? So you showing that you actually care that it's a good fit is in your favor, and you can use this scenario to do that. If they only have 2 devs, then it's not really surprising they aren't following good engineering practices. Yep. Yeah, I think we got a lot of good advice there. What else? Why do companies make you do a stupid online quiz to see if you are fit for the job position? I have a feeling this person's probably not a developer I'd want to work with. Just even wording it, like, why not just ask, like, why do companies make you do like an online assessment to see if you're a good fit? Like, what are they trying to look for? Like, that's a good question. That's a non-toxic person. If you're phrasing things like this is going to bite you in the butt. It's just a toxic mindset to have. You'd be surprised at just people kind of like, you might hear, I don't know if it's a phrase, but like saying words is like spell casting. Your subconscious sucks in way more than you truly realize. And even just phrasing things like this can introduce a toxic perspective that you never even saw coming, right? You have to be careful. Like, even the way you word things, the way you talk with people, you should put intention into the type of person you want to be based on the questions you asked and based on kind of like the answers you're seeking, because obviously you're seeking for other people kind of spitting out like toxic response. It's like that person like, yeah, companies don't know what the hell they're doing. They're clueless. All these companies are clueless testing for data structures and algorithms. You have no idea the toxic person that you are becoming and the toxic perspective that you are creating when you word things like that. And you are going to attract toxic responses that make you feel good. I promise you will attract that. I almost guarantee we will see responses like that. And I would literally, I know it sounds silly, I would literally look at your wording, how you say things as spell casting towards your subconscious. You are building something very toxic inside of you, even with subtle wording like this. What's up, Leo? How you doing? I will say that the downvoting on Reddit, the clan high mind mentality, cultist nature of the sun, Reddit is pretty bad too, but the first thing that comes to mind with toxicity is Twitter. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of like massive downvotes, especially with like certain coding boot camps that like a lot of the alumni will downvote criticism towards their coding boot camp. CodeSmith has widely been accused, at least in my community, and from people that have shared this with me, they've widely been accused of like having massive downvotes and upvotes. I don't know if that's true, but they've been accused as like feeling very much like a cult, where it's like all positive or it's all negative, and all the negatives get downvoted. I don't know if that's the case, but like there are many coding boot camps where it's it feels like a cult on Reddit, and you get super fans and potentially staff that will downvote stuff. Arian, welcome. We'll probably just stick on topic, Leo, but you're welcome to ask questions. Oh, you're asking everyone? Okay, how such? Okay. That's fine. If you want to ask chat that question. We'll be doing a Q&A tomorrow, by the way. Sounds like a really entitled comment. That's a really good observation. Entitlement, I think, is the word for it. But yeah, we'll be doing like a Q&A, Leo, tomorrow, but we'll probably stick on topic for this stream. I've recently applied for a web dev job position, and the company emailed me a link to the Wise Seeker page where I had to apply and complete a 50 questionnaire software development test that ask you shit about the ideal size of a Scrum team, sprint stuff, graph. Probably because they're getting a lot of applications. I don't know anything about these interoperability. Interoperability? What the hell is that? I don't even know what that is. The ability of computer systems or software to exchange and make useful. Okay, fine. Yeah, I didn't know that word. Thank you. Wait, oh, there it is. Okay, so I want to pronounce it correctly, though. Interoperability. Something about microarchitectures or something like that. There were 50 questions, so I already forgot them. Okay. Well, like, you're just someone else that's just applying to apply. Like, this can tell you a lot about what the company expects, and you're just like, fuck it. Like, not important. Okay. They're not going to hire you. I can tell you that right now. You shouldn't even go through any more of their interview process. I can almost guarantee you they're not going to hire you. This is a waste of your time. Then I also had to complete a personality test. Ask me crap like I have a vivid imagination. I can solve complex problems. How the fuck am I supposed to answer this? It depends on how complex the problem is. It is. I have a vivid imagination. I think you can. Okay, I'm not responding to this. We're just gonna keep reading. It is difficult for me to approach other people. It looks to me like they are discriminating against Oh my god, are you serious? We have a Karen. Oh my god, we have a Karen. I swear, if any of you in my community accuses me of discriminating against introverts because I tell you that networking is king, I'm gonna ban you. Like, I swear to you, if you're not doing it ironically, I am gonna ban you. Like, this is the most cringe thing ever. Discriminating against introverts. Okay. Now we're getting into some, like, really... We're getting into some really pathetic stuff. Then I also had to complete a, oh wait, all these stupid questions seem like an insult to me and they don't bother with asking you stuff that's actually relevant for the position. It probably is relevant. They probably dealt with people like you in the past that they don't want to hire again because your soft skills fucking suck. Because you can't have an interaction with a person without actually taking feedback humbly. You probably struggle with even being willing to grow in the company or getting feedback of like your social skills or how you interact with other departments. You seem like a nightmare to hire. You are exactly the type of person this type of assessment is meant to screen out. There was a third pointless test that asked me stuff about what if I were a team lead, and so they're asking for leadership potential and someone was underachieving. This could also tell them how you want to be led. Project delivery dates and other stuff. Dude, why can't, like, these types of software engineers, they're not going to accept advice. I don't even know why people respond to stuff like this. Like, this person is not open to advice. We're gonna look through some of the comments, but I promise you, these types of tests are meant to weed out people like this. This is like the perfect type of test. Discrimination against MongoDB devs. Don Ban is right. We got a Karen, ladies and gentlemen. That's right. We do have a Karen here. This is a Karen post. But Don, I don't want to talk to people on the job. Yep, tough luck. It just doesn't exist anymore. It's like, it doesn't exist. You can kind of, you might be able to push yourself into some random arbitrary position on a rare occasion, or if you're a senior engineer and you kind of just like, you're really brilliant at what you do and a company relies on maybe you and maybe a few other people, sure, fine. But these types of position, like the type of software engineer that used to be incredibly awkward, can't communicate with other departments, can't really grow, not humble enough. I see you guys here. What's up? Welcome. That software engineer position just doesn't exist anymore. Stop aiming for it. First of all, stop identifying yourself as someone that's socially awkward. Stop identifying yourself as an introvert. These things are more malleable. Like you're always, there are many different traits of an introvert. But a lot of people, when they label themselves as an introvert, in these situations, it's usually the ability to socialize. They think that ability is capped based on a non-malleable personality trait, and that's just not true. I've worked with so many introverts. You have no idea how introverted I am. I know it's a crazy thing to hear. You have no idea how introverted I am. When I am in big crowds, stuff like that, my energy gets sucked out of me. Like, I can also flourish in big crowds, but I understand that I have limited energy to continue doing that for long periods of time. It's easier for me with live streams, and I did it for meetups of like an hour or two, but my energy's like done. I go home and I'm just like drained, right? I have traits of an introvert, but I've learned what I can achieve through life, the relationships that I can build by challenging what an introvert actually is. So when you label yourself, you identify as this thing, and nothing can change that. You have no idea how much you are holding yourself back from achieving way more than you are set on achieving. Don is going to have a stroke at this rate. I wish companies would ditch the MBTI type questionnaires, though. They do seem pointless, but still sounds like OP's problem. Why do they seem pointless? How did he get the test in the first place? I don't even know. They'd probably just dish out a lot of automated tests before they even let you talk to HR, maybe. They were asking to see if he would be willing to grow in the role and didn't even... Yeah, exactly, Anthony. That's exactly what it was. Yes. The edit on this post cracks me up. The edit? Oh, yeah. Yeah, he did write edit. He decided that this post needed this edit. He made the conscious decision that this post needed this edit. I am having my first technical... Jin Lee, we'll do a Q&A tomorrow. You can't let your emotions get in the way of your goal, 100%. Yeah. It's like, even if you want to like label yourself as an introvert, challenge what that means. Because I promise you it's more malleable than you think, and it can integrate in society. And because I'm so blunt, one thing I noticed, I definitely attract, it's not like a large population in my audience, but I definitely attract a sizable portion of people that are probably a little bit further on the autistic scale, because I think people that are on that scale love me just like ranting and roasting people. That's what I've gotten. But even like I've noticed like a lot of people that are just in general a little bit neurodivergent, I think that's the term, they're more capable of being successful in society than the mindset that they've developed has forced them to think they are. I think that sentence could be said a little bit better, but I feel like a lot of people too quickly label themselves as like outskirts of society, as awkward, as cringe, as non-sociable, as not able to learn, not smart enough. These labels that we give ourselves, like a lot of people do this. It's not just a few people, like a lot of people give themselves these labels that just giving yourself this label, even just repeating it in your head, is an affirmation, a very negative affirmation that will cause real psychological changes within you. I am telling you, like a lot of people think like affirmations in general is hocus pocus. No, your subconscious is more influenced than you think. You can't wish yourself a job. It's not going to happen like that. But you can take very baby steps, very small baby steps through positive affirmations that will cause you to just inch closer and closer to your goal, given that you have actionable steps to take to pair with that. To me, it seems pointless because who would answer the incriminating negative questions truthfully. Why not? Why wouldn't you? Why can't you answer one thing negatively and then in the interview process say that you're improving it? Why do you have to sell yourself as someone that's perfect and lie like that and just shoot yourself in the foot with the interview? Why would you do that to yourself? I think you're thinking that companies want this perfect human being. No, companies want someone that, yeah, is going to be a decent cultural fit, but that is going to grow into the culture, that's going to work on their social skills, that's going to work on their ability to take feedback. They don't want someone perfect. They want someone honest with themselves. Hi, I'm new. I'm almost senior, and this post is terrible to read. Well, hello. Welcome. You picked the perfect stream to join us in, then. Yeah. Your honesty is so refreshing when everyone in the internet is fake. Try to cater to one's feelings when they need hard advice. I appreciate that, Anthony. I think that's the only... that's the main reason people stick around, so... Social media has not helped face-to-face. No, it has not, Greg. Let me catch up with some of the recent chat. I am autistic, was bullied for years growing up. Eventually you learn the problem is the other people, not yourself. That's a good observation, Barrett. I was bullied too in high school. It's a really... I used to think it was a really shitty thing to go through. I used to. It got me into mixed martial arts. It got me to meet a lot of like very tough people that made me tougher in life. It got me to meet a lot of really cool people, some of who I still talk to. There can always be a positive spin. I think a lot of our new generation doesn't have it tough enough. I think parents are just fucking cowards. I don't know what the hell is happening with our parenting generation, but I think we're producing a lot of Karens, a lot of people that, I want to say a lot of things about that. It's just like, it's so off topic. I'm just going to stop it there. I just think a lot of our new generation is not ready to deal with the real world. We'll sum it up to that. Don't interviewers ask questions about your negatives to show humility? Like, that's what they ask, like, what was, I mean, they're not going to word it like that, but like, what do you screw up in the past and how do you overcome it? Like, how do you grow from it? You'll get questions like that. What's like sometimes they'll give you a softball, like, hey, what's a challenge you faced, right? And your ability to like assess something deep that something deep that it did challenge within you, where you had to like check yourself, like that's a good thing to bring up. And how did you overcome that? What are you working on right now, right? If you can't give have you ever seen like Michael Scott in The Office talk about like his weaknesses? I don't remember the weaknesses that he mentioned, but it was always like he'd always say something like my capacity to love is so deep, or something like that, where like it hurt. He didn't, this is a horrible example, but he would say something like, my capacity to love is so deep, and so I'm sensitive, but I'm so caring about people. Like, that is not what he said. I am blanking on what he said, but he would say something like that. If you are this type of person that would say this weakness that's really a positive, but like you're kind of gaslighting a bit, like, don't do that shit. Companies don't care about that. It doesn't say anything about you. And it just takes longer for the interviewer to figure out what the hell you're working at. I'm terrified of all the weak men and women. I'm Gen X. You should be, Greg. You should be. Weak seed, is that what it is? Got bully attempt, but stopped them in their tracks. Good for you. I'm not going to read some of this out loud, but I appreciate you guys being honest about it. Bullying makes you grow a tougher skin. That it does. Part of my ability over the years to develop the skills I have as a result of the bullying I endured. Good for you, Miles. Stress test you, yeah. Some of these questions might try to prompt that, yeah. Michael Scott was so... The Office was so good. The US version, not the English version. I don't know. The dry humor can be funny, but if we're comparing the two offices, I don't know. The US-based version is just better. I think everyone should face adversity, but sometimes the environment isn't fostering the right sort of adversity. Every adversity can be the right sort of adversity. I completely disagree. That's a mindset thing. Now, I would argue that overcoming certain types of adversity and getting something positive out of it can be more difficult in certain situations, but that's a limiting belief on your perspective if you think that you can't achieve something positive out of specific types of adversity. My weakness is I care too much. Yeah, exactly. Here's the actual quote. Well, he's had a lot of quotes, I think. I work too hard, I care too much, and sometimes I can be too invested in my... Oh, yeah. That was something he said, yeah. Thanks, Daniel. I'm just too good at coding, I make the others look bad. Damn! That's a good one! Yo, this is like... We should come up with, like... passive-aggressive, positive things to say about ourselves. Like, if we just had a channel in Discord about, like... Damn, that's such a good idea. Passive-aggressive ways to, like... or passive-aggressive ways to compliment other developers. That would be good. Yo! Hold on. Mods, is that a good idea? Passive-aggressive compliments to other developers? Or am I just, like, way off on that? I like how they didn't use a list of actors besides Steve Carell, and it made it feel so much more real. My boss was a narcissist. I don't think I would be where I am. I would say, like, you could say, like, if my boss wasn't a narcissist, I don't think I would be where I am. I'm thankful for that. My mistake I used to make a lot was not asking questions on the job and trying to solve them myself, which would end up wasting more time than just asking the question. I don't know if you're being... Wait, are we still playing this role of, like, passive aggressiveness, or are you actually saying something real? Yeah, my weaknesses are actually my strength. That's deep. Aggressive politeness. I don't know if that's the same as, like, passive aggressive compliments, is it? I don't know, but we should have a channel and just have people post it there. Oh, that sounds so good. All right, anyways, we'll wrap it up with this, I think. Well, we still have half an hour. We might be able to go on a little bit more, but all right, so they're trying to screen as many people as possible. Yeah, true. Work on me, I ain't filling that out. Well, it worked for them too. I mean, it's a win-win. What are you complaining about? That's the attitude we like at Soul Crush. Now, please reformat your CV into our need list. You're gonna get, like, you're definitely gonna get so many, like, negative people that you would never want to work with. Like, sometimes it can be fun to trash stuff like this and trash companies that do this. It can be fun. I'm not going to deny that it can't be fun, but I would argue a big chunk of the comments that you're going to see in this are people you would never want to work with. They're going to be depressing to work with. They're going to be toxic. They're not going to accept feedback. It's going to be a pain in the ass. I promise you, most people in this comment section hope you don't work with them. I just submitted application that asked for my address and submitted a blank address with a fake zip code. You don't need my address unless you're hiring me and need it for payroll. It's incredible what companies ask for, and worse what... Well, okay, so if you want privacy until... I think they just want to know, are you local? I think that's the main question for that. Yeah, like, you don't have to put your exact address. Like, just put your city. Because unimaginative HR departments do what is fashionable. And right now there is an enormous trend for these bullshit exams. I hate how garbage software has become this overly commodified and overly compartmentalized ecosystem of crap where you have some dumb monthly subscription that handles some dumb admin. How do you think companies are going to feel about hiring you to work on these products where they charge monthly subscriptions to their users? You think, like, you're probably going to have them... They're going to sit you down with marketing, and marketing is being like, I'm quitting if I have to work with this guy. I'm just flat out quitting. Let's keep going. Where you have some dumb monthly subscription that handles some dumb admin tasks so that unskilled HR departments have something to click on and organize. The sin is having something complex and serious like hiring a junior dev and taking it out of the hands of competent senior staff, only to put into the hands of an HR department who relies on garbage quiz software and other bullshit tools. Who hurt you? stop trying to be a champion for senior developers when you clearly wouldn't be hired for a senior position at a company. I'm not convinced you've even had a dev job. I'm almost convinced this person has probably been screened out so much from dev jobs that they kind of see it as some like elitist, pompous position. And a lot of people, when they feel unwelcome, not included, they kind of resort to like justifying it in their head by it's just, you know, shitty opportunity, you know, toxic culture. I never want to work there. Like, I would argue like most of us have like kind of gotten this train of thought at some point, and we have to correct ourselves because it doesn't help you. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve anyone. Yeah, my question is just like, who hurt you? It's a serious response. I know. It's business. You're applying to be part of a system. Yep. 100%. Oh no. Oh man. All right, I ain't reading that out loud. Damn, man. All right, so suppose a position has a lot of applications. In that case, this might be a way to weed through those that do not mesh well with the culture. But we took personality quizzes as part of onboarding, and I've never worked with a better team regarding happiness. Is it fair, correct, or proper? I don't know. It's fine. It's not your call. Why do people feel so entitled to dictate how companies do their interview processes? I'm not trying to argue that, but I will discuss if anyone wants to pass their knowledge along. The thing I hate about these is that I want to be honest, but I can never tell if they want me to be honest or if they want me to tell them what I think. Stop doing just be honest. Stop trying to figure out what they want. Just be honest. Why the hell would you want to work for a company that doesn't want you? Like, it's like, I think people are just like masochists. Is that the word? I feel like they just love to dive into a situation to feel even more miserable. Why the hell would you want to work for a company that doesn't want you? How is there any longevity in that? Is there any scenario in which you jump into like, look at Reddit posts where people are miserable in these types of jobs. Is there ever like a situation that you can think of where this is the ideal situation instead of taking a little bit more time to figure out what's a good fit for you? Why do you have to cater to companies? Why can't you just be honest and let the company decide if you're a good fit or not, and then move on to a company that is? I think sometimes people will go through the job search for so long, they lose sight of this. They get so desperate, which is why I highly recommend to pick up a part-time job. Get your financial situation in order so you don't have to become this toxic about the whole process. Now, I would argue like most people aren't this toxic. I think this is the wannabe game dev. Is that the original poster? Who's the author? Was it this guy? I'm not scrolling up because I don't want to lose my place. But yeah, why work for a company that doesn't want you? Like, do you really hate yourself that much? Seriously, like, do you hate yourself that much to put yourself through that? I think you should question your own mental health. Yeah, I think that's it. Wait, hold on. Did he say punch? If your reaction is to punch customers, no surprise they don't want to hire you in the quiz that is just... I mean... He's not wrong. His username checks out, wannabe... That's true. That is true. I just noticed the username. It checks out. I think companies should do their interview process in whatever way benefits me most. Yes. Yes, Daniel. Not entitled at all. Beggars can't be choosers, Don. I mean, maybe a senior with a lot of experience can pick. If you're a beggar, no, you can be a chooser. That's the thing. You are relying. So first of all, it's probably going to need to be a good fit. The fact that you've developed a mindset where you have to try to force your way into position, chances are you're not going to get the position. You're wasting time on pursuing positions that are actually a good fit, right? So it's just it's a broken mindset to have. You just have a bad strategy. Like, even if you want to think about it a logical way, you are literally just wasting time you're pursuing a bad strategy, and you are reinforcing this mindset. And a lot of people will reinforce this mindset of like, that's just how it is. No, it's not. You honestly just need to stop taking the advice from whoever you're taking it from, because you are heading in the wrong direction. This is why people don't get dev positions, because they just see it as like, learn to code and get me into the industry. It's so much more. A good fit is essential. And it's possible. It's doable. New developers get positions that are at least okay. It doesn't have to be perfect, but are at least like okay for them. So if you're like, if you make the statement beggars can't be choosers, you just have a broken strategy. That's all there is to it. Why race to the bottom? Yeah, no, that's a really good observation. All right, let's keep going. Let's see what else people have said. The difference is that I don't actually do it. I worked many, many years in customer-facing jobs and never once did hurt a customer despite however often I feel about it. But you're leaving customer service. Why? If you've even worked a customer service job, I think they just worked like a really shitty job. I think this person has trauma. I honestly do think this person, like, they do have trauma. There's no doubt about it. They do have trauma that they got to work through. I don't think it just came from the position either. A mindset like this isn't developed from one position. Unless you've worked there for like 10 years or something like that. And you are just completely oblivious to another perspective or another work environment. Yeah, it's much of the same thing from what it looks like. Cool, what else? The hair, it's like poking me. I don't know where it is on my nose. What the hell? It's also useless work. No, it actually speeds that up. It's automated. What? Oh, got it. Okay. This is the real answer. HR people need to justify their existence. What the? Bro, why? Why do you have to, like, why do people hate HR? Why do they shit on him so much? So they sit around and point. I've had bad HR before, but like to pretend like you don't actually believe HR don't do anything, right? Like you're not that toxic of a person where you just like truly think HR is useless, right? There are very few people that actually think this. Hold on. I actually want to poll this. Do you think HR is useless? Oh, the UI is so bad. There we go. I think it's more like a distrust of the corporate environment, which conflates HR. That's reasonable though, right? So the statements, so I completely understand that. And honestly, HR is not there for you. It's there for the company, to protect the company. Don't ever pretend like HR is your friend. I think you can make reasonable expectations towards HR, but if you are making statements like HR people need to justify their existence and you think they're useless and like you just like truly think they're just like a piece of shit in the company that just fucks everyone over, like you can go to an extreme and actually internalize that. Or you can just look at the pros and cons of HR and try to understand why certain practices are implemented. But you have to understand there's a difference between not really understanding why something's implemented, then wanting to learn, and then just having a completely biased perspective. You're not open to learning. Like that says everything about you when you literally just make this giant assumption of every single company about HR. You make this assumption. You're telling employers you don't want to, like, obviously you're not going to say like just shit on HR, but like if I'm working with you and I hear this from you, I'm seeing red flags all over the place. you're probably not going to grow. You're going to be a miserable person to work with. You're not going to be able to accept feedback well, right? Just even you, I can hear you like bitching right now before I even hire you. I'm going to hear you bitching right now about certain or well, not hire you, but like work with you. I'm going to hear you bitching about other departments. It's going to be depressing to be around you. I'm going to avoid you. Like, I don't want to be around you. You're going to be depressing. I don't want you to bring me down. I'm a happy person. I love my life. I'm not as miserable. I don't want to work with miserable people. No one, very few people want to work with miserable people. Miserable people want to work with miserable people. Miserable people. It's not the fact that this person has such a distaste for HR. It's the fact that this type of person has this perspective on many areas in life. I guarantee you it's not just HR. I guarantee you it. It's the type of person that says these types of things that I don't want to work with. It's not your specific opinion on HR. You know what I mean? All right, what's the poll at? Yes, 33% said yes. We're only at 19 votes though. Yeah, inside out. Exactly. Very specific situations. Yes. Some of you are saying some of the positive things about HR and some of the negative, and I think there are a lot of legitimate things. But I think like my main point is this is actually fairly common. I mean, this is one of the things that like when I would look through like Joshua Fluke's comments, I think Joshua Fluke can provide a bit of advice, but or a bit of good advice. But when you look at his comments section, it like attracts some of the most toxic people you will ever hope to not work with. It's people, and sometimes legitimately, people have genuinely been screwed over, and that sucks. We all have been screwed over. But some of us have chosen not to create an identity around that. Some of us have chosen a more constructive path, which is much harder to do. It's much harder, despite the shitty experiences you go through, to create a successful and constructive path for yourself. It's much harder to do that. And many people have done that, and they're going to be much more successful for it in their careers. But I think you guys get what I'm saying. Like, there's just this toxic mindset, and I just feel bad because it will continue to hold these people back for the rest of their lives until they fix it. Okay, useless HR. What else? Yeah. Because they don't have competent, it's a red flag for the company in general. Asking logical people abstract questions is pretty stupid to me. You have more depth of thought than just writing code. I think like a lot of developers just don't want to address their anxiety and social issues, and they don't want to address other things. Like, you're a holistic developer. There are so many other traits to you besides being a code monkey. If you truly want to be someone that's replaceable by AI, just be a code monkey. I'm serious. Like, if you truly want to wake up every day, why the hell am I becoming a developer? AI is going to replace me. If you are the type of developer that just wants to focus on logic and the code, you're right. You will be replaced eventually. You're very replaceable. Those are the types of people that should fear AI. People that go beyond that have nothing to fear anytime soon. Hey, what's up, Matsky? How you doing? Tom is a genius. What? Who's a genius? Yes, Mahan, I agree. The questions you ask matter. Those who make it a big deal act like they're the only ones this is happening to, and a lot of us just don't talk about it like they do. Yup. Yup. There are people, I think it's okay to vent to people, to close friends, to family. I think venting is healthy. But then there's an evolution of that just becomes toxic when you're talking to multiple people. And you're the type of person that kind of like, well, you probably met the type of people that like will bring you up and build you up until you get to a point where they get a little bit jealous and they think that you should be lower. Then all of a sudden they're not as encouraging. Then they're being critical of what you're doing. Then they're trying to talk you out of certain things because the system or external circumstances are just going to shatter your dreams anyways, right? You know these types of people. You know these types of people. Everyone has met types of people like this. And if you haven't, you're probably one of those types of people. All right, what else? Okay. Like I said, it's attracting a lot of toxic people that truly don't even want to understand what HR does. Giving your little brother... Okay, because recruiters don't actually have any skills, it's like giving your little brother a controller that's not plugged in. It makes them feel important. Honestly, I think some companies should have access to your social media. You know what? Centralized, fully centralized, because I don't want to fucking work with these people. Like, I honestly don't. I'm giving it up. I'm giving it up to the government. You know what? I'm no longer a libertarian. Just see everything that we're doing. Keep these people away from me. Please. You have to screen, true. The team that you are joining is probably busy delivering objectives. And sometimes it can be a little arbitrary. Sometimes the questions asked and the tests given don't have as much value that might even be worth your time, but it still does provide value. I think it just depends on the company. Oh, it's a WTF story, Google Daily. WTF, the inner JSON effect for Tom is a genius story, is it? Okay. Let me make sure I still don't have my poll up. All right, what else? These stupid questions are used to gauge... these stupid, in quote, questions are used to gauge your competencies, personality traits, and apparently management ability. I don't think it's necessarily like leadership potential, but also like how you would like to be led. I think sometimes management questions like that can tell a lot about how you like to be led, because you're going to lead how you like to be led, rather than being insulted by the fact that they don't just go off what you put on the resume. I'd recommend using the opportunity to identify gaps in your understanding and then work towards filling them. Damn. Based. All right. Reach the end of that. Oh, man. Oh. That was a good post. That's the Reddit post I was hoping for. We just had to, you know, navigate through a couple of like really boring, legitimate, honest, kind posts on Reddit. That's not why we come to Reddit. We come for the toxicity, for the show. I've been returning to school to snatch a bachelor's in software engineering. I'm an electrician of 12 years. You've been the most inspiring person I listen to on YouTube. Thanks, man. I appreciate that. Thanks so much for sharing that, Chris. Means a lot. The null hypothesis? I don't know what that is. I don't know what all these things are. Keep educating me. All right, so... So, let's see. Freelance web development. This is going to be good. Yeah, this is boring. We're going to wrap up with this. Freelance web development. Pipe dream or possibility? This is a controversial topic. Let's go. I mined this subreddit for a while and I've gotten really good info so far. I'd like to put forward some of my own questions and get an informed perspective on what to do next. I've been eyeballing software development as a career for a while now. I've been working on a CS degree. Okay, chat is still working? Chat is still working. Nice. Wait, what? I've been eyeballing software development as a career for a while. Been working on a CS degree. Have the opportunity to intern at a pretty successful WordPress development firm. On a reference, lately though, I've heard warnings to avoid WordPress and have seen some concerning reports from people that work in the industry. Some have said that the UI UX has become extremely oversaturated. UI? You mean like, I think they're talking about like a front-end position, especially for junior level positions, and that is true for front-end. With this in mind, I have the idea of becoming a freelance website developer. The idea of communicating with clients and putting together a kick-ass website for their business sounds fulfilling. Many will say that I should go work in an office somewhere to gain experience before trying this, but I have half a mind to just go straight into developing a small business across the US and Canada. Okay. I'll sell my services for cheap at first. Okay. I'm even willing to operate at a loss. Wow. Okay. To employ designers and provide hosting at my expense. Wow. You are just... It's like you're going on a hike. The way this person describes starting a business. So you're going to get cheap customers, have fun with that, and your goal is to, like, one of your immediate goals, maybe not immediate, but like one of your goals you've highlighted is to expand across multiple countries. And you're going to operate this business at a loss. You are just like, when you're going on this hike, you are just like, you're not just taking a normal backpack of like, you know, food, supplies if you get stuck, bear spray, protection, bug spray. You're literally piling... I'm terrible with analogies. You're literally piling, like you're taking like your weight set and just saying, you know what? I'm gonna go ahead and toss this into my backpack. Let's just toss 50 extra pounds into my backpack and we're gonna do this hike anyways. I don't need this. Right? This isn't the right way to go on a hike, but I'm going to do it anyways because, you know what? Fuck it. YOLO. I'm terrible with analogies. But why the hell? I'm telling you, do not ever try to aim for getting cheap customers. That is going to be the biggest headache you will deal with as a business owner. Do not do it. It's not worth it. I promise you it's not worth it. You can build up a portfolio of projects that look much more impressive and that you can gain a user base. You just want to do something else, try to gain a user base, put a product out, right? Man, I'm telling you, I made this mistake. A lot of business owners make this mistake. Be very careful. This better be a very short stepping stone if it's going to be a stepping stone. To operate at a loss, why sell yourself so... Like you sell yourself so highly here, where I'm questioning whether you can break down realistic goals for yourself for like a 5-year plan to build a business. And now you're selling yourself short of operating at a loss. Man, this person doesn't have the right mindset for entrepreneurship yet. And I think they're going to be sorely mistaken when, and the reason why I'm being so critical of this is because they're comparing it to just getting a WordPress dev position. Like, do you guys really think that getting a WordPress dev position is that bad that you're willing to essentially go through a business, like creating a business? You're probably going to fail at it and just give up. Most people do. And now you're making it that much more impossible. You think this is going to be a better situation than getting a WordPress dev position? Like, does WordPress development have this bad of a rap where you just want to dive into a pit of hell? Like, I don't understand. Like, I don't understand where certain people get this type of advice. I think way too many content creators that have created their own business need to stop encouraging people to create their businesses. I think they just need to shut the fuck up. Like, because this is how you get people that really have no professional experience. Like, your idea of working a professional position, I think opportunity to intern, that's just an internship. It's a stepping stone, my dude. You're not gonna get that experience and you're just gonna go straight for hard mode. I don't know. What do you think about this post so far? It kept getting worse. Yeah. Let's go on a hike without food, water, or a map. Yeah. Okay. Imagine you are trying to get into selling pies, so your first step is to pay people to eat your pies. Yes. Fleshy go. Yeah, that's good. You guys are better at this than I am. Somehow providing hosting while at a loss. Yep. You eat well, you're hired. Oh, I'll look at the rest of it for sure. Yes, freelance is mostly WordPress anyways. Yes, 100%, Daniel. I don't really like business courses, but this is why they're good. I would argue, man, a really good channel, if you are truly interested in business, it's called... Fuck, I'm gonna look this up. So if you guys are actually interested in like building a product with your development stuff, there's a channel that you need to watch. It was the old Twitch, one of the old Twitch founders. He started it up. It's fuck, it's hosted in Chicago. What is it? Hold on, I got an email the other day. I'll look for another 10 seconds and I'm giving up on it. They provide financial loans to new businesses. Does anyone know what I'm talking about? I probably just saw a video on YouTube about it. It's, fuck, it's on the tip of my tongue. They were in the same building when I went to Full Sec Academy. Is this near the Sears Tower? Oh yeah, nice. If I remember it, I'll say it in another stream, or if I remember it later, I'll say it. But damn, look up channels that talk about like just building MVPs of products. Just build MVPs. If you have a channel, if you have like business advice focused on not managing businesses, but building MVPs, get it out there, right? Get it out there, get some users, and like you have kind of a scrappy version of how to implement a new business. That's probably going to be stand a higher chance of being a more successful business. Get your product out there. There is value in MVPs. Push it out there. Get that feedback out. If you find channels like that, that's the kind of business advice you want to get. All right. Is this realistic? Has the mom and pop website market dried up already? How competitive is a WordPress focused web developer versus... I mean, like, you're probably going to have to supplement, right? Especially if you're not diving deep into PHP or, you know, JavaScript. Like, you can learn JavaScript and build plugins for the WordPress. How important is the load speed, Google ratings, and SEO advantages of modern frameworks to climb? Shitty. You're talking about, like, one page... applications is shitty. I've been literally for weeks debugging SEO issues because I chose to use React for a content heavy website. I promise you, WordPress will have much more SEO value than most React websites. Should I get the fuck out of web development and specialize in some other technology? I don't know. I mean, that's a really hard question to answer. I have no idea. I don't know you. You didn't say enough. And either general, so like the questions are fine. Like this question is fine. I just, when I kind of roast this, I'm like, where the hell did he get this advice? Startups for the rest of us. It's a great podcast that touches on starting, growing. Oh, fuck. I keep thinking of it. Like there's a book. Damn it. Never mind. You're just like, you're in a moment, you're in just a repetitive pattern of like things keep coming to mind that are kind of like, they're not brilliant. I think that's an entitled thing for me to say, but I'm like, this is a really good resource. I want to share it. And then it just, you can't get anything out. Man. All right. What comments did you, one comment. Oh, really? Oh man, this subreddit must be dead. So I tried for 6 to 8 months to land an entry-level web dev gig after graduating from my coding bootcamp. Never got access or across the finish line. Twice I bombed a live coding challenge in front of my interviewers. At least 3 times I got past the first interview and into the second or third round before, you guessed it, losing out on the job. Okay, it is incredibly competitive, as I understand. All the New York City coding bootcamps graduate between 12 and 20 people. Excuse me. Wait, 12 and what? 12 and 12,000? Hold on. New York City coding bootcamps graduate between 12 and 20,000 people a month? Are you serious? No. There is no way. There's no way that's a real number. That's just one city producing up to 20,000 entry-level coders a month. If you can't flip an array around, turn it in a cycle. Make it do hokey pokey and program it to calculate factorials while balancing a glass. What the fuck are you talking about? They're going to hire one of the numerous other candidates that can't. What? Oh, okay. Then I redid my LinkedIn profile and started advertising myself there. And I got a project offer immediately. I got paid for it 2 days ago, 10K. The entire project took about 15 months, but it wasn't full-time work, and most of that time was waiting for them to get me content I need. Hey, that's freelancing. It's a lot of waiting sometimes. Freelance isn't a pipe dream. Okay, so for a lot of people, I think it makes a ton of sense. The formal job market is incredibly competitive and saturated in the field. Unless you're really, really good, it can take a long time to find a job because there are a lot of really, really good people. No. That's the thing, there aren't. Do you know how many, I don't want to call them like hacks, but do you know how many people that like all they know how to do, they're like, if you have 500 people applying for a position, there are probably like 200 people that can't even build like a CRUD app, even, or just like be able to utilize React that are applying for front-end positions, like to a point where they didn't copy the code. I would argue like you probably have like out of those 500, maybe 300 people that also get weeded out from not having any projects to showcase, not having a portfolio, not having a GitHub. You'd be surprised at how many people are actually weeded out of positions that would have 500 applicants. Like it's an obnoxious number. So I think this is a really so yes, the market is saturated. It's continuing to become oversaturated. I don't know if this number is true, but coding bootcamps are pushing out a lot of people, and a lot of people are applying for front-end positions. But man, like this person just gave up. That's it. They just like, this is the type of person that just gave up. The thing is, I love that they found success with the freelance path. They found that project. You can do this. You're just an exception, not the rule. Like that's one hell of a project to get 10K within 15 months as a new freelance developer. Like that's a pipe dream. So you got to be careful of these anecdotal stories. It's a very rare circumstance. Happy for this person, but why not just aim for both? Why not just keep applying for positions? First, like, we're gonna, you know what, let me just answer this question. Let me catch up with chat and answer this question. Yeah, but I think they meant like 12,000. They just put 12. So that's what I'm assuming, Daniel. Day one mission statement. WordPress internship doesn't pay, so I'll try something less structured. With a lower chance of success where I actively lose money. Yeah, I didn't see that one, but that's good. Seems like a guided tour than a graduation. Guided tour than a graduation. I don't know. I already forgot what I read. Am I crazy, or is freelance going to be a lot harder to get into versus getting a conventional job? I don't know how people are going to find these freelance jobs that pay more than peanuts, but you're not. Like, of course, there's going to be that one person that says, yeah, I found a job. Like, what are you talking about, Don? Like, people should get into freelancing. Why are you limiting them? Why are you gatekeeping? I'm not gatekeeping. I'm just saying most people fail at it. It's running a business. Freelancing isn't just coding. You got to deal with shitty clients. You got to be able to put like a legal contract together. The number of people that get into freelancing that are literally like digging themselves in a legal hole because they don't even understand. Like they don't even, do you know how many people do freelancing without a contract in general? What happens when bugs pop up? You create an app, bugs pop up, they lose revenue. They lose enough revenue, it's worth a lawsuit towards you, right? You have no, like most people don't even have a legitimate contract to protect them. It's just there's so many pieces to it. Can you make that work? Can you eventually make that work? Yes. But you better expect an enormous amount of failure or a high rate or high chance of failure if you go down that route. If you are willing to accept that, then good, prove me wrong. You might be that exception. But yes, most people are just not gonna have any sort of like real meaningful income from it anytime soon. And it is easier to get conventions that make sense, get into a job, get that experience, and then go off on your own. Then become your nomad. Then follow your nomad dream. 20,000 grads would mean 400 boot camps with 50 graduates per cohort per month. I think it is. Yeah, when you put it like that, that seems like a made-up number. Mahan, how many? If you had to give a percentage of how many people, I think you're talking about like an exception, not the rule. If you had to give a percentage of coding boot camps that have cohorts of 150 to 200 people, what would that percentage be? Yep. The state of coding boot camps right now, if there was 12,000 grads, I could only see a small portion of them would be career ready. Yes, 100%. Yeah. A lot of people don't, there are so many aspects of freelancing. And there are interesting statistics. So if a graduate label, so let's say you're looking at graduate statistics. I'm going to out some coding boot camps. If you are looking at graduate statistics, I think a great question to ask is how many people are self-claimed that they did a freelance project and are now, I guess I'm not hearing the notifications, but Tugtails, thanks so much for the follow. Wait, am I just seeing things? Was there a notification? No? It was a while. I'm tripping. Oh, why am I playing like the old part of my, never mind. Doesn't matter. I lose my train of thought all the time. What the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah. Ask them how many people that claimed that they kind of became a freelancer and they went that route are claimed as professional developers. They landed professional developer positions and boosted up their statistics. How many people went into other positions that used their tech adjacent skills into those professional positions that actually counted in that coding bootcamp statistics as we landed them a position after the coding bootcamp? Be very careful about those stats. Dig into it. I don't remember the reason why I even started saying that. So anyways, to answer this question, yes, an internship with WordPress, amazing. People would kill for this type of experience. Do it. Experience it. Get real dev experience through this internship. Get it, and then realize you're probably going to have to supplement if you're going for a more traditional developer position. Like, that's the easy one. That's the easy solution. Yeah, that was an easy answer because I elaborated quite a bit, but definitely exceptional, only under 5%. Okay. Yeah, I would even argue it's more than that when you start considering like coding bootcamp programs or coding bootcamp programs and college programs, and they have extensions like that. It might be a bit more than 5%, but it's definitely a smaller number. All right, that's it. I'm out of Steam. I am completely out of Steam, so I am going to post my Discord. It's free to join if you want to join a developer community. You know, feel free to join our Discord community, ask some questions, help some people out. It's pretty chill. Like, I'll roast people on streams. I'll be very critical, and I'll just have fun with it. But our Discord specifically, we're typically pretty strict on just being kind to each other, right? We want people to contribute value. We want people that will help others out, right? So if you're that type of person, we'd love to have you in Discord. But yeah, I'm going to be live tomorrow. So all of your questions that you've been waiting, I appreciate people kind of holding off their questions. We went into Reddit. I'm actually going to leave this up on YouTube. I will leave this up on YouTube for a little while publicly. If you want to check it out, you want to review it. But yeah, I'll see you guys tomorrow. Probably like, I'm thinking like 4 p.m., 5 p.m. Central Time. We'll do a live Q&A. And yeah, we'll just dive into things, man. Like, I'm warning you, no Karens in chat on Friday. We dive into some of my advice is pretty spicy. I go off on rants. So I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thank you so much for being here. Good luck on all of your projects and happy coding, everyone. Take care.